please allow me to introduce our fabulous guest, Shana Bryant.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, GBH and Amanda Shea.
Shana is an event specialist, teacher, social entrepreneur, and CEO of Shana Bryant Consulting. Y'all can give it up for that.
Woo!
Notice how it said the whole name, Shana Bryant Consulting, a Boston-based event production and logistics consultancy that has worked with multiple government agencies, small businesses, and nonprofit, and also provides a really beautiful opportunity for local artists to also showcase their talent. I am a spoken word artist, and I have definitely been featured on several of different platforms of Shana Bryant. So please tap in. And with that being said, please welcome Shana Bryant.
Thank you.
Don't get all shy now. We know each other. We air gang for real. We got a Libra and an Aquarius, so you know we gonna kiki. Shana, for those who don't know, please tell people who you are, what you do, and really what drives you.
I am, as Amanda said, Shana Bryant, born and raised in Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan. I am a proud product of a little bit of Metco as well as Boston Public Schools. And I have a event planning and management / production business that has been around for a little over 7 years now. As of the end of the year, we hit our 5-year mark of being a full-time business, which is really amazing to be able to survive COVID and all the things over the last 5 years. So really proud of that accomplishment. But yeah, so I work with government entities like the City of Boston to do the Open Streets project. We are heading into our 3rd year now, come May, as well as local nonprofits, mission-driven based nonprofits and small businesses to execute large government or outdoor festivals, galas, fundraisers, conferences, all those kinds of things, and just really excited to be here.
I need all the energy for Shana. Did you just hear everything? I heard 7 years, 3 years. Shana, I don't want to start with Open Streets first. I want to start with the Hustle brand. Okay, the conferences that you were holding. Where did this idea spark from, and how did it inspire inclusion for you?
So I started a brand in 2019, which was my first year when I went out full-time, called Hustle Times 2, and it was the idea that you can have the best of both worlds. I just had created the opportunity, or got the opportunity, because I was laid off, to start the business and go full-time, and so I jumped into it, but with the knowledge and knowing that it's okay if I needed to go back. If it didn't work out, I knew that having the 9 to 5, having this passion project, which was event planning, a side hustle, I could have the best of both worlds. Or at some point, if it just worked, it clicked, I figured out this full-time entrepreneurship journey, I could continue on that. Or if you are in both worlds, or you're trying to figure out, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you have a passion, you're trying to figure out how to get, create revenue, how to create profit, and you love your job. Or maybe you don't love your job, but your job is allowing you financially to feed you so you can do the thing that you want to do after 5, right? You can have the best of both worlds, or, if opportunity knocks, jump. Make the jump. And so I have a series that I restarted, booted back up, and it's this year. We're going to be doing quarterly events where we're going to bring women together that are in those roles. They've either left the 9 to 5, where they have the best of both worlds right now, or they're figuring out what that looks like, and they're going to be telling their stories. And so it's a panel discussion. The first one is going to be March 27th. We're having it for Women's Month, and it's going to be 6 to 8 at the Bruce Bowling Building. If you go to my website, shanabryant.net, you can purchase tickets there. Again, but it really is an opportunity to have a panel discussion where women are sharing good, bad, and indifferent, as well as empowering and inspiring other women to do both or figure out how to make the jump, and you can be successful doing that as well.
I just heard the audience say period when you said that. But I want to talk about that and pause real quick because, as you know, we both have jumped and made that jump into full-time and bet on ourselves, if you will. How scary was that for you to do? And what kind of coping mechanisms can you give to some folks who are listening now that can help you through that stress and that anxiety of taking that leap into doing what your purpose is?
So I think by the time I decided to jump, and by the time I was told I was going to be laid off, they gave us 3 months notice, and for the last year, I had like envisioned what would it be like to have my own business, to do what I was doing on the side, full time, to have the time to actually do that. And so when I was told I was going to be laid off, I actually had one moment of I had never been fired, like what's happening, and then I was like, I'm going to bet on myself, because what I do know is I have the skill set to do events, to plan events, to manage people. To turn a vision into an amazing event, right? And so what I did know was that I was hireable, and I had the transferable skills. No matter what, if it didn't work out, somebody else was going to hire me, and they was going to hire me. I was going to be even more qualified, have a lot more experience, because I jumped out and learned some things about entrepreneurship. And the best thing could happen is 5 years later, I'm still here, right? So. And then I had a really supportive family system. My mom's who here, I literally was like, I think I got to do this. And she was like, okay, we'll figure it out. Just like do it. You're clearly good at it. You'll figure it out, right? And so 5 years later, I'm still here, and I figured it out.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I want to go back into having a support system and how important that is and what that looks like for you. You said you were born and raised Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, right? How hard is it to find your community or your tribe here as somebody who has grown up here? And how has your tribe changed throughout the years, especially during your business endeavors?
Yeah. Well, I will say that my solid base, my family, has been here through it all. They come to my events. They volunteer. Yeah, so they're just always. I am an extreme crier. It just comes. Sorry, but
Don't
yeah,
apologize
so
for those tears. Don't
they
apologize.
literally just like show up. There's never been a moment where they've been like, I don't know what you're doing. Why are you doing this? You need to go get a job. You're not paying your bills. You are paying your bills. I don't know what you're doing, right? Like, it's literally never been a question of, okay, now I'm going to do this other thing. It's just like, okay, Sha, go do it. And then I do it. And then I have another crazy idea. I'm going to do this. And they're like, okay, do it. And I keep executing, and they just keep showing up, right? And then there's the kind of like inner circle of friends that I've developed over the last year or so, last decade, I'd say, in particular, who are entrepreneurship like-minded, we'll say. They don't all necessarily have jobs. Are entrepreneurs that have their own businesses, but they are very much driven to be great, driven to have a level of freedom like I have, like I've created, driven, to give to community, be in and of community, in particular, Black Boston, recognize that, if I do well, the people that I hire, the people that I support, they then can do better, they can dream bigger, right? And so I've definitely been really blessed with finding, cultivating, building a community of very much like-minded individuals. Like Amanda Shea, who, I met over a decade ago, and she's emceed at my events. She's performed at different events that we've hired her for, the client events. And so, yeah, I don't know where I met Amanda. It was probably over a decade ago, though.
It's been some time now, and I did not anticipate to get you emotional, but I love that you were vulnerable.
Really? Really?
Yeah, because sometimes we gotta reflect back on how far we've come, and I think in that moment of having that support and understanding what that looks like over years of time, like, this is not easy, and
it's not.
It's not, and the next question I'm about to ask is about that process and how hard and difficult it is. Open streets. you've worked with the city of Boston to do. I don't think people understand how hard it is to shut down blocks, to get permits, to plan all of this stuff, and then also the process of waiting for licenses and permits, and how you still are trying to push through that process, even though you might not know if you'll get approved or not. These are the little, things that people don't really focus on when we see the bigger picture. So I just want to again say I admire you for not only seeing the need for your community, but also pushing through as a Black woman from this community to make sure that it's accessible to everybody in this community. So can we just elaborate a little bit on the process, because you're also feeding the ecosystem as we speak by doing this work as well. So I just want to make sure that you get your flowers, in real time. For real.
Thank you. So real quick, Open Streets is a sponsored event series with the city of Boston, in particular the Streets Cabinet and the Office of Economic Inclusion. And so it is a started with three neighborhood event series in 2023. 2022, and then last year we increased it to 5 neighborhoods, and then this year it's going to be 6. So there is a new neighborhood that is being added to the mix. And what it is I hate to say it's a block party. It is more like a festival, but we'll say it's an oversized 52 blocks of a block party. So a mile to a mile and a half. The previous years we've had it in Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, Jamaica Plain, Austin, Brighton, and East Boston. And so we will have those neighborhoods again this year, as well as a new one that will be announced when the mayor shares it or whatever. So, but it really is it's a combination of programming, outreach, marketing, and logistics, where we basically shut down the street car-free for 5 to 6 hours. There is programming for kids. There's programming for all ages. So kids zones, there's music, there's a music hub, there's vendors. We have over 200. Last year we had over 200 programming